guys, and welcome back to another video. My name is Shanese Danae. If you are new here, welcome my friends. Well, I would like to call you my friend, but you gotta subscribe first. I'm just saying, because if you don't subscribe, then we're not friends, okay?
Why don't you get it by now? Tell me what you learned in grade school. Give it to me like you want it. Did you forget that golden rule?
Hey, what's up y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, make sure you hit that little subscribe button so that way you don't miss whenever I upload a video. I just want to know how many of y'all do that every time I do a video. Like, anyway, so I want to share 11 things with you guys what you should not do to your locks, because I mean, honestly, we all have to know these things in order for us all to just succeed and grow, you know, when it comes to these. Like, seriously, look how long my locks got. It's literally crazy, and I'm about to hit my 1 year mark next week. I'm so excited. Okay, so tip number 1 is to not use wax products. I feel like a lot of people, you know, and even myself, sometimes I want to use products that I know it's going to hold, you know, but in a result in that, like, it just creates buildup at the end of the day. Like, build up on top of build up. So there's no point of using products that are going to cause your hair to look nasty, or I should say your locks to look nasty and disgusting, because I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, like, it's just nasty. Okay, so definitely don't use wax products, guys. I feel like there's a big trend going on right now for like the colored wax. I am terrified. I had so many people like reach out to me about that stuff. It won't be me. I won't be trying it. Sorry about it. I'm not doing it. No, it's a no. It's a no for me. So just use water and oil. Honestly, that's really the main thing. Or if you're going to use products that work good for your hair, just make sure that it's something that's mainly natural based. Which is, there's really a fine line, because even some natural based products can still cause you to have buildup, but you want to make sure that it's oil based if it is natural, if that makes any sense. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Number 2 is not properly drying your locks. Okay, so by you doing your hair and just letting it air dry, that's all fine and dandy if your hair air dries. But if your hair is super thick and it does not dry, then it starts to film a nasty smell, mildew, and that smell gets like stuck in your locks. That's not good for anybody. Like, you don't want to like have your hair blowing in the wind and whatnot, and then all of a sudden somebody just smells something funny and it's you. That's not cute. All right, so make sure that you are letting your hair dry, because at the end of the day, like, you don't want to be that person. You do not want to be that person that's walking around with stinky locks, because at the end of the day, your next door neighbor and their next door neighbor can smell your hair, and that's not cute. It's just not. Come on, people. Okay, so number 3 is too much styling. Like, I love to style my locks. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really do. I like the way it looks. It just makes me look snatched, and I just like it. But at the end of the day, like, if it's too tight, it's too tight. You don't want it to cause your locks to break. Or if you notice like certain areas in your locks that's thinning, that could be one of the reasons, because you're over styling your hair, as well as using different bands that could be causing your hair to break as well. So just be mindful of that and try to eliminate the styles if you can, and yeah, just stick to the basic. Number 4 is to choose your journey. I feel like a lot of you are probably like, what are you talking about? Okay, what I mean by choose your journey, I'm talking about choose if you want a freeform, if you want a semi-freeform, if you want sister locks, if you want traditional locks. That's what I'm talking about. I feel like a lot of the time, some people, they change their minds a lot. Like, they'll start with sister locks and then they'll combine them, right? And they're like, oh wait, I want a freeform. Like, you know, you have to choose what you're going to do in regards to manipulation, because that can also break your hair, you know? So just be, you know, mindful of that. So really do your research and decide on what exactly you want to do, what kind of style of locks that you want. Because it's long term. It's not something that's going to be like, you know, it's long term. I mean, I plan on having locks forever. So it just really depends on, you know, how long do you depend on having your locks. If you want it for 10 years, 12 years, etc. Like, whatever your primary goal is. But if you are constantly changing what you want, and like you go from sister locks to one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing, and then wanting to go back, then you end up cutting your hair off. It's like, choose what you think is best and really research to make sure that you're making the best decision for you and only you and no one else. Okay, so now number 5 is to choose your maintenance. Okay, so choosing your maintenance is super important. Okay, so if you have traditional locks and you're doing a palm roll method, etc., or if you're interlocking, you want to make sure that you're not flipping and flopping between the two, because that can cause breakage and thin locks as well. So if you are you know, doing the traditional palm rolling, how often are you getting it done? Are you getting it done every 4 to 8 weeks, every 4 to 6 weeks, and you know, all of that fun stuff? You want to make sure that you are doing your maintenance and keeping it consistent, and don't switch it up. Don't like palm roll and then the next month interlock and then go back to palm rolling again. Like, girl, bro, what you doing? It's not gonna work. Like, it's just not gonna work. Your hair is not gonna like it. Your locks is gonna be unhappy. Just don't do it. I mean, I'm telling you, don't do it, because it's gonna break and you're gonna be mad because you're gonna have thin locks and you're gonna say that Shanese and they said that, and I'm gonna be like, I told you so. And honestly, like, I feel like that kind of number 5, going in with number 5, if you're deciding on, you know, how often you want to retwist your locks, etc., the thing that you do not want to do is retwist your locks every 2 weeks. If you retwist your locks every 2 weeks, your locks is gonna be mad. They're gonna be mad at you. They're gonna be so mad. One of the reasons why they're gonna be so mad is because they're going to thin out. You're gonna have really small locks. If your goal is to have like nice thick locks, then you want to make sure that you are at least maintaining your hair every 4 to 6, and if you can push it to 8 weeks, you can certainly do that. There's so many people out there that's retwisting their hair every 2 weeks and wondering why their locks are thinning. Like, you should never ever, no matter how your hair is, you should never retwist your locks every 2 weeks, because if you do, your hair is going to thin drastically, and honestly, you're not really allowing a new growth to form like it's supposed to. So the only thing you're doing is just making it skinnier and skinnier and skinnier, and it's going to be harder to correct that in the future, because once your hair grows out, that little section where you had retwisted every 2 weeks would then seem to be in the middle, and then that can cause it to break. It's almost like a chain reaction. Number 6 is to not trim the frizz. Okay, I know a lot of the times if you have frizz, you want to get rid of that frizz. Sometimes what I like to do, honestly, I just like wrap it around it like this without wrapping my hair from the root, if that makes any sense. Sometimes I'll just go and just kind of wrap it like that and call it a day. But don't cut it, because you don't know where that hair is locked at. So if you do that, you risk damaging your locks as well, and then wondering why you have a thin part in your lock too, because that can also cause your locks to thin in the future. Number 7 is to never ever retwist your hair on dry hair, like, period. Like, it just doesn't matter. It don't matter if you got the softest locks on the planet. You should always wet your hair before you are retwisting your locks, because that can also break your hair. Okay, like, I'm telling y'all, it's just not it. Okay, so number 8 is don't bleach your hair. I don't really care if you have a professional do it. Now, this is just my opinion, so don't come for me in the comments, but this is honestly my opinion. I'm going to tell you guys why. But the reason why is because it doesn't really matter if you have a professional do it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously that professional is going to make sure that they're using the right developer, 20 developer, 10 developer, and watching the process, 30 developer, etc. But the reason why I say it is because your hair is your color for a reason. And that's real talk. That's real talk. Your color is your color for a reason. And by breaking that hair follicle and lightening it causes breakage. Now, you might not see that breakage in like the first month, 3 months, you know, if you're deep conditioning your hair, but the breakage is there. So if you take that 1 week where you're not applying, like, moisturizing your hair, etc., your lock's gonna break. And eventually you're wondering why, like 2 to 3 years down the road, why your locks are thin. It's because you are bleaching and over bleaching your hair. And that's the reality of the situation. So if you want your locks to be as healthy as possible, I say don't bleach it, you know. But if it's something that you just like, you're not really attached to your hair like that, and you want to bleach your hair just for fun, and if it breaks off, you don't mind cutting your locks, then by all means go ahead and do that. But the reality of the situation is that bleaching your hair is damaging. It's damaging to anyone's hair. It doesn't matter if you're locked or loose natural. It's damaging, period. Like, there's some people that their hair can still grow, but that doesn't mean that their hair is not damaged. You see what I mean? So yeah, that's facts. It's facts. Look it up. It's facts. So number 9 is not washing your locks. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of people that think that, and this is just like, it doesn't matter if you're like loose natural or locked. I feel like there's a lot of people that believe that if you don't wash your hair will grow faster. And honestly, that's not really true, because if your hair is dirty and stinky, like, just wash your hair, like, period. Like, it's just nasty. And again, you don't want your neighbor smelling your hair and then be like, ooh, her hair stink, or you know, your hair blowing the wind, like I said before, and your hair stink. Just wash it. So you have to think about your hair as a plant. Ooh, that's good. Think of your hair as a plant. You know, you have to water the plant. In order for your plant to grow, you have to water it. If you don't water your plant, then it dries up and it dies. Same thing like your hair. If you're not watering your hair, you can figure out the rest. Number 10 is not wrapping your locks. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't wrap their locks at night, you know, and you have to think about, if your hair is constantly brushing against something, it can cause friction, which friction can cause breakage, which breakage can cause breakage. Like, your hair could break. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you have a satin cap or whatever you're using to protect your hair, as well as, I know y'all don't like lint in your locks. That's one way to stop having lint in your locks, is to wrap your hair at night, or to just wrap your hair in general. Number 11 is thinking your hair is still loose natural. You cannot put the same product, so stay away from the creams and all that. And then on top of the fact, stop being cheap. Just because your hair is locked does not mean that you can just throw anything in your hair and it's gonna grow because it's locked. I feel like a lot of people think that. Like, invest in a good oil, invest in something that's a real oil, and not just like something that's just made up, or I don't know, you could be putting freaking fried oil in your hair or something like that. Just make sure that you are investing in the different oils that you're putting in your hair, as well as the different sprays like rose water, etc., what you use on your edges, things of that sort, because your hair is going to like you. In a result, your hair will just grow. So if you treat your hair with respect, it will treat you back with even more respect by growing and doing the things that you want it to do, and it will flourish. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you stay tuned for my year lock updated video next week. So leave me a comment down below, guys, if you are excited to see my 1 year lock update video next week, as well as let me know what other lock videos you want to see here on my channel. But without further ado, you guys know what I always say, deuces! Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Shanese Danae, and I share tips when it comes to your locks, your hair. I'm doing too much. I'm doing way too much right now. That was real extra.
Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna